A powerful new play is coming to Transylvania University this weekend. It's weaving together music, memory, and the legacy of love and loss.
Tosha Fowler and Bo List join us today to share how this new production blends it all together. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so
for
much.
having us. Yes.
How did the idea for this production came to be?
We have a wonderful instructor at Transylvania who's a world-class concert pianist, and his favorite musician is Robert Schumann, and he had this idea where a play could take place and the music of that composer be played live, and he wanted to be the player of that music.
Cool.
What is the title of the performance?
Ghost Music.
Ghost Music, okay. And what can people expect when they come in to watch this?
They can expect a ghost story.
Okay.
It's about three famous classical musicians from the 1850s, Robert and Clara Schumann, Johannes Brahms, and the unusual love triangle that united the three of them, set against a contemporary story of a widow who's recently lost her husband and is finding her own way of dealing with memory and grief.
What are the characters like in this production?
So I'm playing Clara Schumann, who is the wife of Robert, but during the time period she was more famous than him. She was a concert pianist, and so her story is not told very often, and she was a composer as well, and she had 7 children, and Robert went crazy and was institutionalized, and she toured and played and just kept the family household alive the whole time and paid for everything. And during that time, Johannes Brahms, who was also a famous composer, moved into the house, and he fell in love with her, and he actually took care of the children and did all the bookkeeping while she toured and paid and bankrolled everyone. So I find her really, really interesting, and Robert is fascinating and interesting, Robert Schumann, and so is Brahms. And so I thought I would talk about the classical era, if you wanted to talk about the contemporary.
Sure.
So this weaves in the contemporary times too?
Yes. The nature of the ghost story is that there's a sense of grief and yearning in the past and also in the present, and it's music that unites the two. The recent widow, her husband was a musician, and it's about the transcendence of music and how it can serve to heal and inspire.
What do you hope people take away from this performance?
I think that we've all grappled with grief, especially coming out of the pandemic, and we've all grappled with illness. And this is, even though the play grapples with illness and it can sound like, oh, it's really sad, it brings a great deal of hope by the end. So when you go on this journey, I feel like everyone can have a little bit of a healing moment at the end. And I think that theater's communal. So I think when you're in a space with lots of people and you can heal together, it's a really beautiful experience.
What was it like balancing the musical performances with the acting on stage?
Oh, it was so much fun. Greg Partain is just, he's an amazing musician, and he was there every night of rehearsal, and he was choosing music along with our director, Abe Ratbold, and they were putting it together so that the music is really underscored through a lot of the play and through a lot of the transitions and ties the two storylines together. And Greg is playing live on stage. And then, of course, we have a fantastic sound design, too, that was created by one of our faculty members at Transy.
Tonight's opening night, where can people get tickets?
They can go to www.transy.edu/theater, and tickets are free, so,
Awesome.
reserve away.
All right, nice.
That's great.
Enjoy the show.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on the show
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you.